It is great to have you on Morning Joe, Gino Auriemma. I covered Gino back in the days of Rebecca Lobo, back in the beginning. And I'm sure you remember my hard-hitting interviews.
No.
Especially the one where I dressed up as a Husky fan. I mean, it's a humble beginning.
Whoa.
But
what a long
congratulations on this docuseries. And I zoned in when I watched the trailer there on the concept of mental toughness and how that can lead to greatness. What's the big takeaway? What do we learn about you, but also about the incredible team that you have led?
I think the biggest part, Mika, is that they want to be challenged more than they've ever been challenged in their lives. And I think today, especially in today, I don't know that those challenges that a lot of us grew up with having to face, I think a lot of those are taken away because we're afraid to hurt their feelings, or we're worried about their self-esteem or how they may respond. So to me, I think they come to play at UConn saying, throw whatever you got at me. That's why I came here. And I want that challenge, and I want to prove to you, to myself, to everybody out there, that I'm more than what people think I am.
Yeah, you know, Coach, hearing the players talk about the sacrifice that they had to make and how tough it was and how difficult it was. Well, being a champion comes at a steep price. I remember after Nick Saban left, the first game they were interviewing Jalen Milroe, the quarterback. They said, hey, what's the difference between this year and last year? And everybody goes, oh, Jalen's having a lot more fun this year. And I was like, uh-oh. This isn't about fun. And if you're having fun in SEC football or UConn basketball, shit's going to go sideways fast. On a serious note, talk about the price of success, the price of victory. A cost comes with it, doesn't it?
It does. And I tell everybody that asks me, I say, you know how you can avoid all the scrutiny, all the criticism, all the expectations, all the demands, all the people that think you're never as good as you say you are or prove you are, just suck. And if you're that bad, no one will care. No one will scrutinize you. No one will talk about you. No one will come after you. But in this country, in the world, we go after the people that are at the top. That's our standard. And we're that standard. And now we get everybody's best shot. We get everybody's best punch. And the price is every day you have to train for those moments. You can't go to practice. Yes. On the board, we write, play hard, play smart, have fun. Well, if you play hard and you play dumb, it's no fun. All right? And if you play really smart but you don't play hard, you're not having any fun. So if you do those two things, it can be fun. When? At the end of the season, when we win a national championship, then we have a lot of fun.
There's the fun. The fun comes at the end.
The fun comes at the end.
So we're talking about you being the gold standard, and boy, are you. 12 national championships. But part of what the dynasty gets into a little bit is what UConn basketball looked like when you arrived in 1985, because people of a certain age just assume it's always been this way. You always were in the Final Four. You're always winning national championships. But before 1985, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the women's program there had one winning season ever.
Correct.
So for people who watch this show building businesses, building political campaigns, whatever they did, how did you dealt with that hand to build what you've built?
Well, UConn at the time was more of a regional school like URI, UNH, New Hampshire, UMass. And they wanted to be, basketball-wise, like North Carolina and Duke. So those two things then go together. And we didn't have the infrastructure. We didn't have the buildings. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have the reputation. We had really nothing to sell except Chris Daly and I walked into everybody's house and said, we're giving you an opportunity to do something here that's never been done before. And I promise you, if you come here, you're going to be on the ground floor of something really, really cool. Well, I never thought it'd be this, but it would certainly be better than what it was. So anybody out there that's starting a business, the only thing really you have to sell, if you want to call it that, is you and what you're willing to do. Hey, Willie, you want to come, Senator, you want to come play for me? This is what I'm going to do for you. This is how I'm going to help you. And we got kids to buy in and believe. And then when they get there, we just ask them simply, tell me what you want. And then when they tell me what they want, I want to be on the Olympic team. Rebecca, I want to be on the Olympic team. I want to win a national championship. I want to be an All-American. All these things. Okay. Well, after the first 2 years, I said, hey, you need to change that because the things that you're doing aren't going to lead to that. So now, once they tell me how great they want to be, then that kind of gives me license to do whatever.
Do your thing. Do your Gino thing.
Do my thing. Do my thing. Be me.
It was funny. We were sitting here watching as we came in with that trailer. You watching your players talking about you.
Yeah.
You were laughing throughout the trailer about what I think Paige told you to chill out, dog, or something like that.
Yeah.
But they did talk about this us versus them thing, which they said is kind of the key to all of it. By you being you, it brings them closer together as a team. Is that by design?
It is in one sense because we are competing, right? So we're training. I don't know why in America we call it practice. In Europe they call it training. Like we're training for that moment when you're going to have to perform at the highest level under the greatest amount of pressure. Well, that means you have to deal with pressure every day to get used to that. So I just tell them, I'm the referee that just called your fourth foul. I'm the opponent that just made 6 straight shots. I'm the fans that are yelling obscenities at you. I'm your worst enemy. And if you can beat me every day, then when we play on the biggest stage in the biggest moment, But leading to that, Paige, let somebody spend 5 years with you. Let's see how they chill out, dog.
Hey, dog, you need to chill.
Let's check with the coaches in Dallas and see how they're chilling out.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Definitely reminded me of one of my girls.
Yeah, so, Coach, let me ask you this question. I've always been obsessed about what separates good from great, especially when you're in an arena, whether it's sports or whether it's business or whether it's politics, where there's a lot of greatness or a lot of good people around there, a lot of talent around there. But I've always, what's the difference? You take yourself, John Wooden, Nick Saban, guys who have separated themselves from other great coaches with great players and great programs. What is the difference for you, for Saban, for Wooden?
Well, we all have something in common. We had the best players. And when you surround yourself with the best players, then you have an incredible responsibility to try to match that with your own effort, with your own knowledge, with your own constantly improving yourself. And never losing sight of the fact that you're there to make them even better than they are. And I think sometimes a lot of coaches get caught up in I need to get better because I want this, I want that. I think the key for us has been, what do you want from me and how can I help you? And never settling for anything less than their best.